Welcome to Champagne Football Lemonade Banter. This season is brought to you by the Lightweight Athletic Club.
Whatever you're watching us on, please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Right, welcome back to Champagne Football. Today we're joined by Lewis Thompson from Bulls Academy. Assistant gaffer?
Yeah.
Janitor?
Something like that.
All those keys you've got in your pocket? Maybe that's keys anyway. And Chaz, as always. So we can get stuck into MPL straight off the bat. If there's any, I should mention the Liverpool thing.
Oh, by the way.
That was mental.
Shocking.
Absolutely mental, man.
My sister was there actually on the street.
Was she?
Yeah. So she was just on the corner where it was happening, and she was waiting on a mate, and the mate said, "I'm not coming anymore." So her and her boyfriend turned down the other street, and after the car came down.
They turned down the street. It came down.
Yeah, she was on the street there. Yeah, and then I've just turned off it like before, and then the cars come down.
Has there been anything about what was wrong?
He got arrested.
I know he got arrested, but was there something wrong with him? I
don't know. I don't
just
know.
saying he was on. They said I think on drugs.
Oh, right,
I don't know what beyond that like, but I was also on the headline.
And you see the obviously when the car stopped, said it. The fans have just went straight for the car and just started leveling the car, which you would. That's I was
surprised at, because when the car after they had finished being an arsehole basically and stopped, everyone attacked the car. How did the police got to him first?
Aye, without him getting absolutely leveled.
Aye, I'm surprised they didn't get dragged out.
I know.
Don't know how that happened, but anyway, handcuffed.
Aye,
obviously mental, man. Such a shame.
Aye, it's sad.
It's like 10 minutes after the trophy parade passed as well.
It looked like a great day though. Like it's that one, and
then married for. Like you think
100%.
Liverpool have won 2 trophies in the last however many years. First one was COVID. Then after they went to celebrate this one, and this is shocking, like absolutely shocking. But really sad. I'm not sure there was no deaths, was there?
No, not yet.
Fucking mental.
Mentally lucky. It was like one kid was trapped.
It looked as well that somebody was up in the car, like travelling for a good bit, and then he's obviously ploughed through a good number of people.
I think there was someone stuck under the car.
One kid. It was 4 people stuck under the car.
Oh, was there?
One kid. Apparently said this is off the news reports, obviously, but terrible. Anyway. Great start, nice and positive.
But then you see in the flip side, you see Napoli celebrations.
Aye, brilliant.
Looked amazing.
Aye,
so good.
Mate, Napoli, fucking nuts. It was like they won a World Cup.
I know, mental.
And it's not like they won it in 2023 as well.
I can't remember.
It's not like it's been years without them winning it. Like Scott McTominay.
I know, not good enough to play at Man United.
That's the maddest thing ever. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's always been a decent player, but he's a fucking legend at Napoli. But in such a quick period of time.
A year, Serie A Player of the Year, scored however many goals he scored. And big goals as well.
Aye. That's the thing, he's scoring important goals. He won't score them big goals in United. Like.
No,
do you know what I mean?
Who did? Man, you were
probably
the worst patch.
Nobody scores big goals at Man United.
Fernandes scores a few. But that was another thing, the cup final, that was crap. The Europa Cup final.
Man.
Who do you support?
Liverpool.
Oh, yeah. Liverpool first, then Rangers, or Rangers first, then Liverpool?
I'll go Liverpool first then.
Good.
Liverpool fan. Yeah, that was a terrible cup final. I'm buzzing for Ange.
I'm so happy Ange won as well.
You mean delighted as well, weren't you?
He has to back it up now in the third season. But
to be fair, that is, regardless of what people thought of him, to have the balls to say that and to pull that off is next level.
I know. And you see when the bus that says with all series, season 3 is better than season 2. Did Senko sack him?
I don't know. I think it'll be tough now. I think now he's almost like a cult hero now. Like just with that.
Aye, the way he conducts himself and what he says.
Well, someone was saying to me, one of the guys at Spirit was saying to me that, what's his face? I can't remember who the gaffer was. It was lost my till I thought. Wrote his Roma gaffer at the time. He's going to be laughing listening to this, but he said I could win the league, but I need Batistuta. And then he got Batistuta and he won the league.
Right.
It was the same thing. That was like class as well. I was like, no worries, get back. I fucking done it. For Ange to pull that off and to finish to be 17th. You know, the Verge have been a laughing stock, realistically. To be 17th, to come out and say that, no win anything, but then to pull it off, he must have been shining himself as well.
100%. That's one of those moments you could just sit there with a big cigar, like I told you.
They say Thomas Frank's moved his favourite now in sport on the betting.
Is it Tottenham gaffer?
To be Tottenham gaffer starting next season.
But I think now if Ange does leave, he at least leaves head high, bit of a swagger, and then it'd be way more appealing to a club. There's almost like give him a chance here. Because
that's what he said. He said something about how finishing third or finishing fourth wouldn't have changed the club, but winning a European trophy has the potential to.
Aye. Well, I mean, fit won a trophy, can it? We've had the Mourinho, Conte, whoever else, and that Pochettino.
Has he got a bit lucky that it's the first year Champions League teams haven't dropped down?
Potentially, but it's not his fault.
Yeah, but...
And also lucky playing Man U in the final because they're absolutely shite.
They're terrible, man. I thought you were going to talk about the other final.
Domestic stuff. Before we do that, actually, we'll go to Deploy. Sponsors, as always, for the show. Deploy develops Australia's best value for money footballs, tailored to every price point and category.
From day one, Deploy is focused on engineering footballs for purpose, especially for junior progression, bridging the gap between entry-level training balls and elite match balls.
And now the launch of Deploy's new elite match ball range. Deploy offers a complete football pathway for every age and level of the game. The Deploy Counter and the Deploy Munich are the official match balls for 14 local Premier Leagues around New South Wales and are the ball of choice for many NPL clubs. Good old Deploy.
Good old Deploy. Round 16, Gary, we'll start with you.
But the Spirit game?
Yes, please.
We were poor, very poor. Sydney FC had a strong team out, the one that beat Blacktown, but to be fair, they weren't as good either as I expected, but they were still, they didn't have to do much to beat us, to be honest with you. They didn't batter us or anything like that. We were crap. Really disappointed. Probably our worst performance of the season. Sometimes you get a feeling before a game, but I think Friday night, Ellendon, obviously when you go to Ellendon, usually it's Rockdale and it's a wee bit of atmosphere. Still a Sunday afternoon, it's never usually amazing, but Friday night after work's always a wee bit funny. You just had a bit of a feeling like it's a bit subdued, not a lot of people at the game, bit of a funny atmosphere, felt like the energy's a wee bit low. Not that was a reason why they're in the exact same position, but you just got a wee bit of a vibe that we didn't really see myself. And we were just crap. But the first opening to the game we were alright, but then I think it was a half time, it was 0-0, nothing much in it. And then they scored on the counter. Actually, we were going through 3-on-2 or something like that.
It was actually a good goal.
I made an arse to the pass, and they countered.
The wee boy Ty Headley's touched around the corner, then continued his run.
Oh, I looked up, mate. They had loads of cracking little players, but as I said, they didn't have to be good, mate. We were so poor, and I don't think both keepers had a ton to do. They hit the bar in the first half. We had a couple of half chances first half. They got that goal. I can't even remember us having another chance.
In the highlights, it showed you it was Aaron Basic. He's got the ball into the box. He's done well to take a defender and he's hit the side netting.
Oh, that's right. Aye, but look, mate, they didn't deserve to win. Sydney FC, fair play. They deserved to win.
Aye.
No, but obviously last night they played again, and a lot of the boys I think are away with Australia national squad. So don't know how they'll get on moving forward. They lost. Obviously beat Blacktown, beat us, and then they've lost to St George last night 1-0 with Danasco scoring a penalty. So we'll see how they go, mate. But aye, disappointing for us. Obviously lost a bit of runway on Marconi, Rockdale. Pretty much all the teams round about us won, and obviously the teams behind us caught up in us a little bit. So that's what it is. We'll be back to. We've got a tough run now. We've got Blacktown this weekend, Apia the week after. Two tough.
You beat them both at the start of the season, didn't you?
We'll beat Sydney FC, Blacktown, Apia. We won 4. I think we won our first 4 games, 5 games maybe. First 5 games, I think. So obviously, I was looking at last night, talking to Perko, obviously to win MPL 1. I think Rockdale last year was ridiculous. They got 70 odd points, 72 or 74 points or something like that. But Marconi was second with 65 points. We had a ridiculous first half of the season, like really, really good, and I think we got 31 points.
Yeah.
So even to replicate that, we'll still be sitting on 62 points.
Yeah.
Which in previous years hasn't been enough to win the league. So you'd need to really better what was an outstanding first half of the season, which is, I mean, it's very doable. This is probably like a coaching staff at Spirit, we genuinely believe we've got the players to win the league, but it just showed me like how consistent you genuinely need to be to win a league.
Aye.
Very, very difficult to win that many games because, as I said, I think we've only lost 3 games this year.
Yeah, we've lost 3.
That was a third loss just gone, so we've only lost 2 in the first half of the season.
Aye.
So it's and even Marconi, obviously, as we said, like we weren't that far off. It was that one game swing until obviously the weekend there. So maybe the top of the league might not be as high this year because it's been a bit tighter. There's been more draws and stuff. I don't know, but so hard to win the league. So hard to win the league, and you can see why squad depth's so important and how you have to be. You can't really have an off week. Really, you can't have an off week.
Aye. Next game we've got here: Sharks versus Sydney United.
Aye, do you watch
Sydney United 1-2-1. I watched it.
Late
goal from Hatch, was it?
Aye.
It was. It didn't look like Sharks really created much. Obviously, they've scored to the overhead kick from Arimoto, if you can call it an overhead kick. But like after that, it didn't look like Sydney United were very troubled. I didn't think it was.
And tell me got a goal disallowed, didn't they?
Aye. And then they hit the bar as well.
And this is just a couple of saves.
Aye.
Just late on. But that's going to happen. It's United have got the bench to, like, their bench is strong. As the game goes on, still on with the injuries they've got, haven't they got really that depth? So as the game goes on, people tire. They're bringing on like right good game changing players.
Aye.
Who would start for Sutherland?
100%. Leroy Jennings scores a good goal to
Aye, cracker.
Aye.
Really good finish. He's actually been decent start since he came back in this
He
year.
has been.
But that's been 24 points now. So
I know, top 6.
Back in the mix.
That's
Back
it.
in the mix.
Mount drew it. So close until Pedrinho gets sent off.
I know, aye.
Do you think it was, obviously, do you think the booking was a booking first of all?
Can't remember the booking.
I actually had to watch it. It didn't show you in the highlights.
Did you see it?
Well, I just saw in the highlights the commentator was saying he's got sent off for saying something to the refs.
So it didn't show you the foul in the highlights, so I went in and watched it in the game, and it's basically like the Wanderers boys got the ball and he's kind of went across and shouldered him, kind of shoulder, kind of back, and the boys went down.
So that wasn't in the highlights, was it?
No, that's what I'm saying. It didn't have it
wasn't
in the highlights.
Okay.
And then the referees booked him, but then it was afters in terms of one of the Wanderers boys came across and two of them in front of Pedrinho, and I don't know what was said, but they were kind of gesturing as if he'd done something to them when the two of them were in front of him.
And then I had fucking sign it down. Celebration.
Celebration. And the refs off, spoke to the linesman and came back and sent him off. So I don't know what he did in the after.
He looked happy when he came off today.
He was raging.
But great first goal.
Oh, it's a great finish. That's the boy, young boy, Lachlan Vasilius, his first start.
I seen celebrations were big for it.
Aye.
Which is class to see. But great first goal, but like we say every week, mate, they're close more often than not, but they can't pick up the points.
I know.
And that's against a team who's round about them. They need to. I don't know. I do think they're in the relegation battle already. There's 14 games to go.
There was points in the game that the boy Abdul Rahman, I think for this,
he's a good player by the way.
Looks rapid.
Good player.
Looks so fast. A good second goal from them from a team point of view. Then G hit the post. Garang hit the post with 15 minutes to go. Would have been obviously a big point for them. But it wasn't to be. And now they're obviously without Pedrinho. Do you think it goes 2 yellows, as I read, and just 1 game suspension?
I don't know. It depends what was said, what happened. But I'd imagine 1 game, aye.
1 game. Because then obviously looking at the way that they've been in the highlights recently, he's been the one that kind of looks like could make something happen for them. So a big loss.
He's the main man. Yeah, he's the main man.
Wolves and Apia. What about Uchino's goal?
Absolute worldie.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
That's a joke.
Aye.
So far away as well.
That's it. I can't think of a goal that comes close to that for a goal of the season this year so far. There's been loads of great goals, and people will probably say, what about that one? But that was far out, man.
It's like 35 yards maybe.
Like far out, and it's dipped.
It did come off the inside of the post.
It looks like he's took a wee glance and think, I'm sticking that
in there.
As an individual goal, like it's definitely goal of the season. So
aye.
Do you know what I mean?
The question will be, if a goal comes up where you argue who else could do that, because the question with a long range strike's always sometimes anyone can just zing a ball and you hit it right and it flies in, whereas if you do something individual like ghost past so many players, or you do some sort of mad finish, sometimes that can pip it. But right now to me that was just so far out.
So far out, there was no defender in front. There was so much time to look at it, and it just went and then just dipped, didn't it?
I think
I love you know the reactions if you watch when he scores.
everyone's this. I love that as well.
That's a big pitch as well. It's a great finish. So again, maybe I'm missing a goal, but in my head right now that's a goal of the season.
That's one of them that a lot of people wouldn't even think to shoot from there. Like, let's be serious. It's far away.
One of those guys, someone shoots like, what are you shooting for there?
Or
it's a centre half that tries it, it flies miles away. But great goal. It looked like a good game, end to end. Some big chances on both sides. Some fucking sitters as well.
Cart's back in goal for.
I seen it. I don't know what's happening
there. No, it's interesting.
Don't know what's going on.
Because I checked the thing and Bizanis was on the bench, so it's not like he was
injured. I think they used that big roulette wheel that we had here. Spin it
and see who plays.
Goals but I thought it looked like, from the highlights, there was plenty of chances. Leigh missed a big chance.
But the header for Wolves, Dylan Ryan, inside the 6-yard box early on.
There was a few chances. But Apia got the points. Hard place to go.
Aye, good result.
Good result, very good result.
St George and Rockdale.
St George and Rockdale, what was it? Oh, that was 4-1
it was.
But I don't think it was as one-sided as that, I don't know.
It
was like 2-1. There was no one each with like 20 minutes to go.
It was one each at half time, and then I think Chalakian scores. But the first 2 goals were both mistakes defensively from Wolves.
The keeper made an arse as well, didn't he, for the goal in the second one?
The second one, aye. It's one of them though, for me, if you come into a crowded area, don't try and catch it, just punch it. As soon as you come in with the two hands, there's so much that can go wrong. All you need if you're going to try and punch is one hand and it will
Chaz
go
is a goalkeeping
somewhere.
coach, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Aye.
Guys, I'm a goalkeeping coach. But it's unfortunate because he's been good, Kenny, as well. Like,
He has a good season,
it's
aye,
a
but
good
was that,
season.
was that who it was in goals? Aye. But aye, big mistake, but then from there, was it Chaka got a penalty, didn't he?
Aye, brought
Aye.
down Euro, smashed the
Euro
penalty.
smashed it as he does, and then who scored the fourth?
Moody Najjar.
Oh, so he did, that's right.
Oh, yeah. How fast did Rockdale go forward for that fourth goal?
Mate, they go fast all the time.
Like,
They'd won that.
but it honestly looked like the defenders were like in slow motion in comparison to them running.
But who was it? Subs that were breaking forward?
Moody Najjar put it away. I don't know who crossed the ball.
Probably Bray Evans probably come on, Moody and Jarbria.
But
If they all come on, they're all fresh.
But they were so quick going forward. It's a great finish, to be fair.
Mate, that's Rockdale, man. They're fucking just high energy.
Aye.
High energy.
And Blake, 4 weeks in a row.
That's right. I got a few himmies through though.
Aye,
See it?
I saw it. Aye.
People saying that a few other people have had it.
Had
I don't know about 4.
Now we've gone 4, so we'll get some more messages saying someone else has done 4.
I don't know. Yeah, I've got no idea. But I fair play to them. It's
Aye.
alright when your team's winning every week. It's a bit
That's
easier,
right. Walked back into school with a swagger on Monday morning saying I was class again.
Aye.
It's going to chin me. Every time I say something, it was like, why are you saying that in the podcast?
So he's not actually saying that.
No, he's not actually saying that.
No?
I'm just talking shite.
I'm not joking.
It's not like you.
I was hoping you were going to double down.
Definitely said it. St George and Olympic. 2-0.
Talk me through the goals.
2 defensive errors.
Talk me through them. I can't quite remember them. My mind's a wee bit hazy.
First one looked very casual, played out for the back, and Casella's nipped in and
Against
put it by
against
Gibson.
the old team.
Aye, against his old team. I think he's scored against him 3 times. 3.
Like I commentator
3 games in
mentioned
a row,
something like that.
And then Olympic in the second half didn't really look very threatening in the highlights. But then Zach Zoricic came on, smashed the bar, beat Siren, and then Ten Quo tried to play the ball back to Gibson and just been very casual and gave it to the striker again.
Aye.
2 weeks in a row. It's unfortunate.
As he says with a smile on his face.
No, I'm just laughing at him, man.
You're laughing at me.
Because you hammered him, man. But aye, it was two goals. That's 4 goals in the last 2 games that Olympic were all so avoidable. Like 4 defensive errors in a row.
Aye, frustrating. There was that. Obviously, I wasn't watching the game live or anything, but I just checked my phone after the game, and I had like 13 messages on Instagram, just 10 quo, crying faces, quo. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Because he messaged me, and then I thought originally that he'd done something amazing, and then he obviously watched the video, and I was just like, oh no, that was literally my reaction. But 4 goals in 2 games is too much in terms of giving away. Like they've literally gifted 4 goals.
No, I know, mate. Well, let's just say 10 Cole's not really a defender, is he?
No, he's not.
I mean, you've got him playing defence. It's like it's a tough one for him, but he is that utility player that gets shafted everywhere. And maybe he's like, fuck this, I'm not playing defence.
Making a point.
I'm not a defender.
I'll teach you.
Told you not to play me out.
Aye, but it's big loss for Olympic. Again, they're just very unpredictable, Olympic. So unpredictable. It's just the same conversation every week. But Olympic next week they keep going batter somebody. Good result for St George, that's 2 wins on the bounce now.
Because that's Olympic sitting in 12th.
And if I look at the league table, St George are now 7th, 22, mate. The top 6 or the, say, 4th, I fucking know that. Sydney United 24, St George 22, Sydney FC 21. I think Sydney FC are going to fall away. They'll fall away. Manly, Wolves. Olympic have got a bit of a... They play tonight. If Olympic win tonight against Central Coast,
Mariners, aye.
then it makes it a bit tasty. So we'll see how that goes. Who else we got?
Last game, Blacktown and Marconi.
Oh, aye. That was a Sunday game. I mean, I actually watched the last 20 minutes of the game. Looked a bit of a nothing. There was one massive moment with Blacktown hit the inside of the post.
It's like the top corner. Yeah.
50 minutes to go.
Oh, I didn't see
I think it
it.
was Jack O'Brien, I'm not sure.
Oh,
May have to
I took a deflection and smashed off the
Back
post.
across the
Aye,
goal.
I looked at it as
aye,
like,
she was starting to go that way. Aye.
Right off the inside, but outside of that, it didn't look like there was a ton of chances. Great finish for Sekenis, first goal.
Aye, it was a very good finish.
Great finish. Defenders didn't make it too difficult for him, but I thought it was a great
No, it's
Great striker's goal.
100%.
Brilliant. Instinctual. Brilliant.
There was before, but it was not in each. Blacktown have took quite a clever wee corner routine that's drawn a save from Hilton. But besides that, and the deflected shot, there didn't really look like they had many opportunities in the game.
Is that the one that plays short and then the edge of
Played
the
short
box?
edge of the box.
That was good.
That was
to be
clever,
fair.
aye.
Your analytical brain was loving that, wasn't it?
But yeah, it's just you got to try something different, right?
That's
But all
it.
those ones edge of the box, there's so many bodies, no
I
need
know.
problem.
You
Front of goal.
just done that at Bulls last year, it was.
Last year.
Ollie Jones scored it.
Oh, why?
Similar
Yes,
bang
yeah,
into
yeah.
the box and a good finish.
Well, that's MPL 1, isn't it?
That is MPL 1.
So MPL 1, just to wrap up, Marconi is still top of the league, 39 points, 5 points clear of Rockdale in second place on 34 points. Spirit on 31 points, 3 points off Rockdale, and then it gets super tight from there on. Appia's on 30, Blacktown's on 30, and then Sydney United on 24. Then you've got that little pack we've just mentioned a few seconds ago, and at the bottom of the league, Central Coast, they've got 2 games in hand, bear in mind, but they're on 6 points. But if they can get 2 wins, it'll probably pull them out of the relegation battle, and it'll keep Mountain Drew in there alongside them, and potentially pull Wanderers and Sutherland in amongst it as well. So just quickly, Chaz, just going to get you to just put your neck in the line here. Who's getting relegated? Anyone listen, Camden, we don't know. We get a lot of abuse for making predictions.
I
We don't know,
nothing.
man. Like, would they really know? Although we did say Mount Druitt would in their second bottom. We did say Bonnyrigg would in their bottom, but apart for that.
I'll say Central Coast, I think.
Right, and who else?
I think Central Coast will go down.
The second one's probably the bigger one to decide. I mean, we'll change our mind next week, but where are you right now? Never nice to see someone's getting relegated.
Possibly Wanderers.
Oh, they're in a playoff, to be fair.
Possibly
I
Wanderers.
think Wanderers will be in the playoff, Central Coast down.
Yeah. And I say that because I think that like clubs like Mount Druitt and Sutherland Sharks, when the window comes, will spend money to get players.
Maybe you remember points as well, though.
I know, but I think they'll always find a way. They always do when they've got enough money to buy players or to bring players in. And I think that you look at the academy clubs are going to have periods of time where a lot of their players are unavailable to play.
Well, it depends. Just on academies do tend to dip off, but sometimes they can be sneaky and just throw a couple of belters in there.
But they not have to have a certain period of time
I
off.
don't know, mate. That constant conversation.
Here we go. We've got the man here who can help us with that.
That's right. What's the crack with that?
Yeah, if they're on scholarships, then they have to have
4 weeks off, is it?
yeah.
I think that's right now, though, is it not?
I think it's the end of May.
Yeah,
What's the end of May, innit?
Yeah, so there's a game this weekend, the 31st.
So I think after that they get 4 weeks off.
4 weeks off.
Aye.
So I think that could potentially kill. Not
you
kill
don't,
the
you don't know,
academies.
like in come July, August, right? What, like if the club want to stay in the division, like for MPL 1, like they can just put all their best players
That's what
in
I
there,
mean.
do you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
so you can
Load
be
it
sneaky
up,
with it.
so or else they might, but the players might not be available as well. They might be needed for the A League, you know, their preparation and stuff.
They
So
go to camps and that, don't they?
And then a lot of them are obviously involved with international teams that happen as well. So you're constantly.
So as
losing
always with
players.
champion football, we don't have a fucking clue.
That's the reality.
Have a full 10-minute conversation to come with the same prediction. We don't have a clue.
How about you, mate?
But before we go out, who takes in the winning league? Tell me your top 6, no particular order, but who's going to win and who's top 6? We're halfway point, so we might as well just do it now.
It's hard. Who's going
I
to
know
win?
it's hard, mate. Come on, let's go. It was easy. They told me, let's go. Come on, who's going to win the league?
I think that.
Fucking hell.
I'm shaking myself.
I've got training later, mate.
I think Rockdale will win the league.
Right, okay, cool. And it's the top 6.
Rockdale, Marconi. What it is just now? Rockdale, Marconi,
Right, okay,
Spirit, Appiah, Blacktown, and Sydney United.
cool. Moving on to MPL 2.
Your turn.
No, I can't.
I can't.
I'm no comment. I'm no comment.
I got the shite bag over there.
Go to Victoria.
Victoria. South Melbourne with their first win since round 2. They beat Melbourne Knights 2-0 to move themselves out the bottom 2. Heidelberg United and Avondale both picked up wins to keep themselves 5 points clear of the rest. So quick run through the results. Melbourne Knights lost 2-0 at home to South Melbourne. Avondale beat Port Melbourne 1-0. Oakley Cannons beat Green Gully 3-1. Preston Lions and Dandenong City drew 1 each. Dandenong Thunder and Hume City drew 1 each. St Albans Saints lost 1-0 at home to Altona Magic, and Melbourne Victoria lost 3-0 to Heidelberg United. So if we look at the MPL Victoria table, that is taking South Melbourne from 13th to 11th. So the bottom two now is Melbourne Knights at the bottom and Port Melbourne. They're on 9 and 10 points.
And what teams matter are supposed to be going to the B League? Isn't that two of the teams at the bottom?
South Melbourne,
Aren't they? Yeah.
Avondale and Preston. So Avondale are second, Preston Lions are fifth, and South Melbourne are 11th now. So that's the three teams that are thingy just now.
So they're supposed to go in the B League, but they're sitting down the bottom.
Yeah.
That's South Melbourne, aye.
Yeah.
But they're a big club. So.
Yeah, a massive club. So this episode is brought to you by our major sponsor, Insurers Pty Limited. Your trusted partner in all general insurance. Experts in construction and home warranty insurance.
Something to turn you off there?
Distribution direct. I was trying to read it. They're the go-to team for builders and homeowners needing reliable professional cover. Thanks to Insurers Pty Limited for leading the way in protecting what matters most in the building industry. I've got too many bits of paper, that's the problem here.
Mate, every single week you bring 2 minutes of paper.
I know, man. I need to write everything down, otherwise I forget,
mate.
man.
You know most of this stuff anyway.
That's very true. You give me more credit than I deserve, but
We have the same format every week for 50 odd episodes.
and I still forget it.
Exact same format.
MPL 2.
Is that in the paper?
Yes, it is.
Oh, fuck it, I only skipped it there.
MPL 2. Spartans will start with. Beat Rydomere 4-2 on Friday night. Spartans went 2-0 up in the first half, and then the two players get sent off in the 60th minute. Kyle Sandy for Rydomere and Josh Bartolotto from Spartans, and then the game kind of came to life. Rydomere pulled one back, then it went 3-1, then went 3-2, and then Spartans scored their fourth in the 97th minute.
Off these.
Big win, to be fair, because they were quite close in the table beforehand. They'll then go Hakoah beat Dully 2-0. Hakoah seemed to have turned a
I was just
corner.
going to say that, aye, they seem to have been...
Picked up a bit of form definitely from the start.
Yeah, for the first round they weren't particularly good.
It's a bizarre big drop from last year to this year. For a team that was competing to potentially go up to
Yeah,
fucking really struggling.
because the first maybe 10,
11,
11,
they're still
12
well off
weeks they were quite poor. Like didn't get many good results, but they seem to have turned a corner.
By the way, do you know what? In saying that, right, I say they're nowhere near it. Jets are sitting second on 31 points. Hakoah got a game in hand over them, and if they win, they're only 8 points off them.
Jets are second.
What table are you looking at?
I'm looking at the one that's on the sofa score.
That's wrong.
What is that wrong, eh?
So Jets have got 24 points.
24 points.
24 points.
What the hell's happened here then? Look, this one's sofa score. Look. Yesterday's at the top with 34.
Yep.
Newcastle Jets second 31, then Inter Lions 31, NSW 30. Tigers 30. Is this completely wrong, sofa score?
Completely wrong.
Who, honestly, between...
Has it got the points deducted off Jets?
I deducted 3 points, but no, 7.
No, so Jets are 24. Go on, dribble.
For fuck's sake, we're here for 45 minutes.
Try and get it up and dribble.
I help you, mate, don't worry.
Dribble's a nightmare. Dribble, this is the thing.
Dribble.
Dribble.
To be fair, anyone listening to this is going to like, you've got an
Here's a
Irish
table,
guy
mate.
and 2 Scottish people. That is not even nearly... Sofa score's not even nearly close. Aye, that's bizarre. So, no point in looking at that then. I usually use 24. 24 is usually not bad.
I'll leave that there for you, maybe. Alright.
Aye, so never mind. Oh, same. My argument might remain the same depending on what Hakoah is. Nah, what the fuck? that says Newcastle Jets have played 18 matches. You've only played 16.
Only
I was thinking that when looking at it.
Hakoah, it said Hakoah the game in hand. That is fucked. I don't know what table that is.
It's
No
like
idea.
MPL 1, mate.
I'm just going off the app, man. Oh well, there you go. Anyone listening, don't use sofa score for the league tables.
But actually, the last 5 games they've won 3, drawn 1 and lost 1. So they've had a decent wee run of form. But they beat Dully 2-0, and Dully have had the opposite end. They've lost the last 5 games, which has obviously put them pretty
tell you
close.
the other league, mate, but I've not got a fucking clue.
So they're not having the best of times just now. Who scored for Hakoah? Hakoah's goal scorers were Nicholas Tooley and Benjamin Fook. How am I meant to remember goal scorers? I need to put that in the paper.
But that could be like the only bit of paper you have.
Oh, that's a good
You've
idea.
literally got one. How many bits of paper you got there?
About 17.
That's
And
close.
they're close and they're double-sided.
They're double-sided. 25, mate.
Big shock of the weekend. Bankstown City beat SD Raiders 3-0.
That's a pumping that.
They were 2-0 up after 25 minutes. Charles, Eriku and Shun Meta scored. And then Jonathan Grozdanovsky scored the third in the 88th minute. Manchester City also missed a penalty, so it could have been worse. Big.
Cool this year.
They have been. But then maybe that's the kind of result that gives them a wee bit of a kick up the backside.
See, to be honest with you, like in the last 4 or 5 weeks, the teams at the top, should we say, have not been in great form.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
They've lost way more in the last 4 or 5 than they did the first 11 or 12.
So we've got, in the last 5 here, we've got SD Raiders have won 3, lost 2.
Aye. Tigers
have drawn 2, lost 2 and won 1.
Aye, exactly. That's fucking shambolic.
Aye.
And then you boys have drew 2, won 3, so you're probably in the best form at them all.
Bulls have won 4.
Undefeated in 5, maybe even more. You can only see the last 5.
Yeah.
Assistant Gaffer's apparently really good.
It's the analysis. The
I'm
opposition.
good at working trebles.
So we'll go on to our game, UNSW. We beat Boyerick 2-1. Kevin Lopez and Liam Wood both scored. Boyerick went 1-0 up from a free kick in the first half, and then we equalised just before half
How
time.
are Boyerick? Is it like they're bottom of the league now?
I don't think they're a bottom of the league team in terms of how they played. Like, I thought they were. It was
Did you get any stick?
a wee bit, aye.
Was it their place or yours?
No, we were at home.
But did you get any stick because your comments earlier on? Is that swept under the rug
That
now?
was done. But the some of these Avala boys that we talk about were there, which was actually quite good. It was, they put up flags and that over the side of the fence, and they were making a bit of noise, which was
Aye.
so
It's
it was-
lads, aren't they?
aye,
Yeah.
it's
Aye,
brilliant.
brilliant.
Like
Aye,
it's
of course it's
good to
class.
see. Actually, they're obviously calling me shite, and
Obviously.
and I went across and applauded them, and it just got worse. I was actually saying like
It got worse.
aye, but I was being quite genuine in the fact it was quite good they were there and making a bit of noise. You know what I mean?
They were singing abuse to our keeper the whole time, but they must have looked up the wrong keeper and dribble, so they were shouting like stuff to the wrong name. No, the keeper was sitting on the bench that was getting the abuse.
Are you all bad on? But it was a good result for us. But Bonnyrigg, I bottom after Rams won.
Massive. We spoke about it off air. I do think, I don't know if it's just romanticising of like, they'll get out of it. But I just can't imagine Bonnyrigg going to MPL 3.
I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think they will get out of it, but there's also that part of
They might not.
there's such a poor run of form, man. Like how long is it going for?
When we played them at the weekend, they've got a midfielder who's been injured. Versi, I think, is coming back from injury. Galloway done his meniscus.
Did he?
And Stefan was injured. No, he was get sent off, sorry.
Sent off or away?
No, he get sent off 2 weeks ago, but then their game against Inter Lions get postponed last week because of the rain.
Okay.
So he was serving the suspension against us.
Oh, there we go.
So we'll go now to Hills and MacArthur Rams. Finished 1-0 to MacArthur Rams. They scored the only goal of the game in the 58th minute. It was two new coaches, Timothy Aitken and Gary Van Egmond, against each other. It's a big win for Rams, to be fair, because it puts them now joint on points with Hills. So they've got 3 teams at the bottom of the league now with 12 points.
I think that, like, obviously Tim was at Bulls last year.
Yeah.
I think he'll have them well set up now, like, defensively. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like Rams, the push on, I think it'll
Yeah.
be hard to beat.
That's
As far as the coaching side can go, like,
Yeah,
you know
of
what I mean?
course.
But
So I will see. It's going to be interesting, obviously, going into the second half of the season with both of them, new coaches, and seeing how they play, because obviously things will change. It's just how quickly they adapt, I suppose. The next year's Bulls, Tigers, 1 each.
Oh,
yeah, it was a good game. Like we had chances, but just didn't put them away. That's usually the way it is with us. But Tigers they're well set up. Like I like their game plan. I like that you can clearly see what they're trying to do.
How did they set up?
They have 5 at the back, but then they push right on, and then they're 2 8s in centre mid, if you want to call them 8 centre mids, whatever. But they go out and push the fullbacks. You know what I mean? Where usually you'd have the wide people there.
Yeah.
So obviously we're looking at that, trying to exploit that, but at the same time, like their game plan works well as well for them, doesn't it? So
Yeah, they run a lot as well.
yeah,
They're
they do.
energetic, man.
Like at the start, you can't think there's no way they're keeping this up for 90 minutes, but they do more or less anyway.
Because that's what I said when we played them the first 20 minutes. I thought they were really good until they get obviously when they get the player sent off, it changed the game. But the first 20 minutes, they were just bam, like everything was 100 mile an hour.
They keep those 3 centre backs pretty narrow, but
Yeah, they do.
and regardless of what you're trying to do, like if you 3 narrow players, it's hard to get goals past them, like, defensively.
If you keep a structure.
Yeah. Which they do, but that's what I like. 'Cause sometimes, like, obviously, I watch the opposition before we play them, leading up to the game. And there's some teams, like, you can see what they're trying to do for a bit, and then
Fades.
yeah, do you know what I mean? Either concentration or the
Fatigue.
whatever, fatigue, all that. But they kind of stick to their plan the whole way through. Tigers, like, definitely one of the best setup in the league, I'd say.
I thought they were good.
Well, the question would come then, because I've not had much negative coming out of Tigers. They've got really good squad, player-wise. Well set up, well organised, fit. If they don't go up, like, what's the missing piece of the puzzle?
Like you said before, consistency, isn't it?
You know, it's just the run rate is not great, is it?
Nah, it's not.
Would you say 1, 2 out of 5? 1 out of 5?
1 out of 5, aye.
And 1 in the last 5. So are people sussing out what they're doing? What they done at the start? Is that starting to get sussed out a wee bit, maybe?
Two things, like, obviously we played them first game of the season, so even from obviously we're looking at results, like, but from a development standpoint, because we're trying to push players on, the development we seen from the start to the end was like a good marker to see where we're at, and like we were far better as well.
What was the first game score?
We'd be 2-1.
They beat you 2-1.
Yeah, but
Was it a bigger gap, do you reckon?
yeah, they were the better team. I think we had a goal ruled offside, wasn't offside, like this. No, but they were the better team then. We came away thinking, like, we've got work to do. Whereas we played them at the weekend, thought like
We're amongst it.
yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was. I think we definitely more shots than them at the weekend. Like,
Do you reckon yous have got better, or do you reckon they're starting to just plateau a wee bit?
maybe a bit of both.
Bit of both, I think. Okay.
Like, obviously, because we got the footage of last time, you kind of know what the game plan is, so you kind
That's
of.
what I mean. If people starting to figure out as that might happen in the second half of the season,
But then obviously-
so they can adapt as well. Of course they can. But
Teams can try and be smart and try and change it from the last time, but then they're not going to be as well drilled at what they're
course,
trying to
aye.
do, so it's a bit of
I
a.
think you also look at the run of games they've had, Tigers. I think they've played us, they lost 10 Lions. I think they've played ST Raiders in that kind of last 5 game window, so they've had hard games.
yeah,
And the Lions on their way up as well,
No,
but
if you're going to try and win the league or get promoted, and you're playing against other teams that are running about you who are also trying to get promoted, and they're not winning them,
Yeah.
that's how you don't get promoted.
Then I think that a lot of what I find, that even looking at UNSW as an example, is it's easy to play against good teams. Not easy, but everyone's up for it.
Fucking
Yeah.
hell, easy.
No, it's not easy, but everyone psychologically gets up for it.
Ah, of
Whereas
course,
when
they're
you're
not levels.
playing against teams that are at the maybe the lower half of the table, that's when you need that consistency, because it's easy to switch off. And it's maybe for me, it's a good thing that they can be so consistent against that, and then that can almost afford them.
But they've lost. Is that
luxury
not
of-
against your point, because they've actually lost the games they're supposed to be up for?
No, but that's what I'm saying. But so if you look at everyone else, right, all other teams will get themselves up for these games, but then will drop points to teams that are lower in the league. But then they are managing to pick up consistent results that then gives them a wee bit of leeway that
Where
other
are they
teams.
in the league right now?
They're joint second,
Joint second. And how many points behind SD?
4.
Interesting. Well, SD have been a bit of a dicey bit of form as well. And you usually be kicking yourself if you don't ping me, because they've had a right bad run of form.
I know. But then we've drawn 6
It's the
games.
draws. That's what I'm saying. The draws are killing you.
6 games. We've only lost twice all season, but we've had 6 draws.
Need to stop leaking goals at the back.
100%. We've only got the best defensive record in the league, you know what I mean?
Oh, have you, Zach?
Aye.
How many games you played? You played them all?
Aye. Well, bar 2 when I was away.
Played them all.
I forgot I was away. When I was in Scotland, I missed 2 games. I cast played.
Did you concede those 2 games?
Just 1 goal.
Not bad.
Aye.
Not bad.
Lewis Thompson
No,
analysis
so
didn't work.
absolutely no credit towards the defenders. That's just taking everything now.
100%.
It's unreal, man. How many saves you had to make?
None. My defence is that good. See, I just flipped it there and was very complimentary.
Why are you whispering? You lost your confidence. It's like you wanted to say it, but then
Quiet over here. Move on into Lions. Big result in our Lions beating Newcastle Jets. But they've actually, obviously, as you said,
Actually,
turned a
no,
bit.
but they're in amongst it in the lines.
They're not on this thing still.
I know, it's bizarre.
Bizarre.
That's the thing. That doesn't show in the lines. Silver scores at league table's wrong. Don't know what to believe.
Nah,
Don't know
that's
what's
true.
going to happen.
Do you know, so all last year, into Lions were never in the league table.
Whenever
See if
you print
go
off
into
the league
Google,
table,
if
and
you
the
go
lines
into-
don't come through, don't come off.
What?
No idea.
So like here it goes 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 6th. So into Lions are obviously 5th.
know why that
Sorry,
is.
we're on that.
That is very strange.
But they're doing well.
They are doing
Good
well.
form.
They're doing well,
not a bad
right?
team.
Young side as well.
Yeah, they're doing very well. So James Curry scored a chip from 35 yards, supposedly. His only goal of the game. It's a good result for them.
Where a chip.
Aye, like the keeper from 35 yards.
The hell? He must have struck it. Can't just chip a ball.
I
Like
could
a wee-
chip. I could do that 35 yards. no
You
bother.
could do it, I'm saying, but the keeper was put that. Cheers.
Well, I'm going on the report.
Aye.
So obviously I've not seen the goal.
You must have done a wee clip. I mean, a
Aye.
lofted one.
A wee lofted chip.
Aye.
And the last game in MPL 2 was Mounties and Berries. Finished one each. Mounties were 1-0 up from the 39th minute and Berries scored to equalise in the 92nd.
Quite a lot of late goals in MPL 2, no?
Aye.
In fact, it's probably the same as MPL 1. It's just again fatigue, concentration,
But-
etc., etc. But
From what I read, Mounties will be kicking themselves. They hit the bar 3 times throughout the game and then conceded in the 92nd minute.
See, Mounties, the game I watched before we played them and when they played us, but you said it's a bit different for you, but they commit numbers forward like mad in attack, which I wasn't expecting because they're further down the table. Like 6-7 every time in the attack, but it must just be leaking goals. Like they're leaving us man for man at the back.
Yeah, which
Do you
is
know what I mean?
suicide. But when we played against them, they set up with a back 5 and they just, but I said that to you, it was Wally Savora, I think, came in as head coach. It was his first game and they just sat off. Like there was maybe 2 or 3 kind of coming into our half unless they got a corner or they got something. Then they put numbers in. But besides that, they really were quite defensive. But as I said, that was his first game. So he's obviously just thinking, how can I set up in a way that's not going to leak goals?
Yeah.
So since then, it seems like they're getting a bit better in terms of results. And from that game, it suggests that they should have won the game. And Berries have been doing all right.
Yeah,
Berries have been doing all right results-wise. They're sitting 8th.
is that all the games?
That's all the games in MPL 2.
From obviously you get to analyse a lot of MPL 2 sides. Sometimes the results or the league table might not reflect like how well drilled some teams are because again the way the game's going or the players' quality. Sometimes is there any teams that you go they're set up really really well or you can at least go what they're trying to do is really really good? Is there anyone who's stood out to you?
Well, obviously Tigers and then Jets are a good side. Like they're
Jets are
probably
good.
the best. Like you
Oh,
said,
they are.
results
Jets are good.
aside, like for me, Jets was the best.
As in well organised,
Yeah.
quality way to play.
Just the tempo, everything.
Yeah,
aside
Jets
as
are good.
well, like.
The young?
They are young.
Yeah,
But
they're older than us. Like you know,
Like
for,
42 or something?
I look at. But like for our side, like for us both being academies, I think they're a bit older. But like the tempo they were playing at was a proper workout. Like.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Anyone else?
well, I quite like the way Mounties were like going for it and being attacking. But then if
Can I back
you're
up?
not sitting high on the table, it's
Shut table.
Fucker. I know, it's like one of those ones, isn't it? It's
yeah.
like,
And their lines as well. Like they had a lot of energy and pressed
Yeah.
hard, didn't they?
That's what I thought when our lines. I thought that they just grafted and they were always together. So whenever
Yeah.
there was setting balls to be won or anything to pick up, they were always there
Yeah.
numbers. Always there numbers. The
100%.
energy was brilliant. But I thought Jets were very good as well. That would be my one that was you're looking at a game and thought they were really good.
was there anyone you analysed and they just done a complete different thing to what you seen? Or what they have been doing?
Not really. I think it was it the Inter-Lions game? We saw. I didn't get much footage, but we saw a bit before, and they weren't really pressing. And then they turned up at us, and we're standing on the edge of the box, ready to press. Like so, just little things like that. But again, I don't know whether that was just.
You didn't have enough footage to.
Yeah,
to
or
know.
just maybe they changed their plan of what they were trying to do as well. Because we played them pre-season, and didn't like in a respectful way, didn't think they were up to much. And then we played them in the league, and they were fucking right at it.
Pre-season every single year.
I know.
Every year, like anyone who reads into pre-season is off on that.
Yeah.
Off on that. We played. I've been at Spirit 4 years now, and I honestly think we've had one good pre-season in terms of results. We lose. I think we've lost maybe 75% of games we've played in pre-season every single year. And we've had a decent year every year. Remember we get beat off 4 teams in December or something, or 3 teams, and everyone's like, "Fucking, you're just struggling, eh?" Like what? Struggling for what? to win what?
I think we're the same. I don't think we won in pre-season.
Aye. Well, you get the rotation you've got.
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
just
yeah.
bringing boys in. You're 20. Like, you'll think back now to some of the teams you played out. Like you're starting 11
Aye.
pre-season games. You've maybe some trialists. You've got boys away on holiday.
100%. Yeah.
All sorts happening, and then so it's just an exercise. It's like, can we get some minutes into the legs, take them off after however many minutes, and then try having this position and try this formation,
Yeah.
see how it works.
There's definitely a bit of that, isn't there?
Of course there is.
Transformations.
Aye. That's it, man. Sometimes you get. Well, look at Appia. Appia set up the start of the season.
Well, back 3.
Aye, and then pivoted completely from it, and
Aye.
they've done really well since.
They've been a lot better since.
Aye. So there you go. Anything else, Chaz, on MPL 2? Oh, MPL 3, whatever, brother?
MPL 3, Stanmore lost 2-1 at home to Parramatta. Parramatta scored in the 4th minute and then the 82nd minute. So it was a...
Was the score?
2-1
To
to
Parramatta.
Parramatta. Aye, Marco Sama scored twice. Dunbar lost 2-0 at home to Zagreb. Zagreb are flying. They're 9 points clear at the top of MPL 3 now.
Well, you called it, mate.
No, they're flying. That's decent for me. I don't often get things right. They scored 2 goals in 2 minutes though. 37th and 38th minute they scored. The second goal was scored from halfway. The same boy, Hassan Soufli, I think his name is. Bankstown United lost 1-0 at home to Hawkesbury. Hawkesbury seem to be doing alright. They've beat Bankstown United and then they drew 4 each for Parramatta last night. 4 each.
4 each is some game.
What a game that would have been.
Two good attacks or 2 bad defences.
Both probably.
Proper MPL.
I think all they get the goals in the second half as well.
Oh, really?
I think so, aye.
Leave a half-time games pish.
Imagine. It'd be raging. Granville lost 5-0 at home to South Coast Flames. South Coast Flames are scoring a lot of goals just now. Camden Tigers lost 4-1 at Fraser Park. Gladesville Red Magic lost 2-1 at home to Nepean. And Sydney Uni and Central Coast United drew 1 each. Nearly another win for Sydney Uni.
It's not really a sentence, is it, as a coach? Nearly a win.
Nearly a win.
So a loss.
That's it.
Can't nearly win. You win and you don't win.
And Prospect had a bye at the weekend. So looking at MPL 3, the table, Hurstville, as I said, 9 points clear at the top. South Coast Flames and Prospect are sitting joint on 28 points. Also with Parramatta now, to be fair, who got a point last night. And Hawkesbury are in 5th, 2 points behind them.
There you go.
So, Mr. Thompson, the main man, this is why we're here to talk to you.
Are you skipping the personal insights part?
Favourite movie of all time?
13 bits of paper, so he knows what to go to next. He completely skips a bit. Just spend the paper, mate. The paper's not needed.
But then I tried my laptop and I was too distracted.
But genuine question, what is it you actually need that for?
But I
We
need
did the same format every week.
No, I know, right, so...
MPL 1, then we go MPL 2.
Yeah, and then MPL 4.
Yeah.
No, but you missed MPL Victoria.
It's MPL 1, but it's like 1, 2, 3.
Right.
It's to say that does not need paper.
But no, I agree completely. But then I wouldn't remember the scores. I've got all the goal scorers
I'm
there.
a mobile phone with every score. If you want fucked up league tables, go on SofaScore. But if you want the results, it's usually pretty bang on.
That's true.
You two are like an old married couple, aren't you?
That is, 100%.
Aye, that's what happens when you know someone too long. That
No, my point with this is though, he's got all those paper, and then every single week he gets confused. He's like, 2 seconds, which page is it on again? He's like,
That's it, man. Terrible. Do you know what? Next week is
he
going
spends
to...
time printing after it. I'm like, just don't worry.
Next week is going to run smoother than it's ever ran before. And the
Have you
paper...
got next weekend?
Nicholas Olsen and Lockie Scott.
Nicholas Olsen and Lockie Scott next week.
Why don't you just sit here and get it on the screen, mate?
We did it, it's crap.
Nah, because you get distracted.
Aye, we did it last 2 weeks ago, but we just everyone just sits and watches the screen.
And then one week we had like football and a football match on, and I'm sitting here, so I can't see anything that's
It was
happening.
Chelsea Tottenham or something. I was like fucking 9-7. The game was. It was communicated. It was like the best game ever.
I didn't mean put a match on, man. Put your script on that you've got there.
We had the scores up so everyone could see them, but then all we did was just you looked at the camera when the YouTube was on. Just every person was just staring at the telly. It's crap.
Aye.
As
Rather
opposed
watch
to
football and look at you as well.
I know, that's very true, to be fair.
I go on. Let's not skip things, mate. So on your paper it says here,
Personal insights,
page 43,
page 43.
addendum 7.2.
What's your favourite movie?
Great Escape.
And what would you eat while you're watching it?
What would I eat? Pizza and chocolate and whiskey.
Pizza and chocolate and whiskies. Would you have chocolate on the pizza?
Nah, separate.
What chocolate would you have?
Dairy milk almond.
All right,
Interesting.
cheeky,
And what pizza would you have?
Huh?
What pizza?
Pepperoni. Keep it simple.
Where from?
Johnny Gio's.
Johnny Gio's is good.
Johnny Gio's is good. I like Johnny Gio's. Diavola, is it?
Pepperoni, said?
El Diablo.
Is it El Diavolo? Aye.
Asked for pepperoni, he said, but don't do that. I says, right, do you hang with pepperoni on it?
You don't do pepperoni pizza?
But if you say El Diablo, then they do. And I says, right, well, just Whatever has pepperoni on it, mate.
So what's the difference between a pepperoni and El Diablo?
On the menu it says El Diablo,
But it's just pepperoni?
but it's pepperoni chili
but a
flakes.
wee bit of, aye.
Chili flakes?
That's the pizza we get as well from there. It's good.
Is that the one that delivers like till super o'clock in the morning? Like,
Nah.
Nah,
What was the one we used to get at your gaff?
can't
Like at
remember.
5 in the morning?
I can't remember.
What was doing at that time?
That's when we used to play Soggy Biscuit.
I can't remember. What was that called? It was in Newtown, I think. You've got him there.
Mind that your mind going
I heard you were good at that game.
huh?
I heard you were good at that.
Champion. Fake gold medals.
Vice champion 2022.
Oh, God.
Moving on.
Big pack of my Vities. I really goes.
If you were to sing a song in the karaoke, what would it be?
Okay.
Is this a new question?
Aye, it's always been in there. I've just never asked it because I never pay attention to the paper.
Just can't get enough.
Oh, did you? Aye, Celtic song. Good on you.
Yeah, you know, mate, cross community and all.
What's football careers recap? Is that just the next section? Chaz?
Next section, aye.
That's the next section.
Is that like one of these scripts, bro?
Nah.
You don't want it.
You don't want one? So, your footballing career, mate, your early football days, obviously it wasn't in Australia. Tell us like, your football kind of upbringing.
Just play like local club until I was...
You want to tell people where you're from? Because some people won't actually know, genuinely.
Belfast, Northern Ireland. Why are you smiling?
I'm always smiling, mate.
He's like, that's not on the sheet.
Where did you get that from?
Yeah, not Belfast, Northern Ireland. Yeah, it's just play local club till I was like, I don't know, that's 10, 11. And then you start coming into like county trials, which for Australia is like the equivalent of state teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, done well there. I was in like the county teams. Then they do like a county select team. So it's essentially like a Northern Ireland squad, but not, you know, it's not officially Northern Ireland until you're under 16, nothing like that.
What position did you play?
Centre mid. So I went over and played like Everton and Preston there, doing well. And then Sunderland were looking at me, and then the old classic like we were talking about before, the knee injury for 15 months. And then after that, I did all right. Like I was playing Irish League clubs and reserves and stuff like that, but just wasn't the same. I didn't feel as quick. Like before, I was really quick, and after, I didn't feel as quick. And then also, I think my commitment was the same. Like
How old were you when you got your knee injury?
14, 15, around then.
Okay. Fuck, it's quite young to get an injury like that.
Yeah, so, but before I would have trained every day by myself, you know what I mean? And then after that,
What was the injury?
I think it's tendinopathy coming in. Is there one tendon or two tendon in your knee? You know? Yeah, so it's coming both sides of the tendon, and then bursitis, and then swollen joints, but in both knees.
Fucking hell.
But that's about the size that I when I was about 13.
So
and didn't go anymore.
So you play Soggy Biscuit on your knees? Is that what happened?
You seem obsessed with that Soggy Biscuit.
Overuse injury?
Yeah, something like that.
That is young.
Growing too much and overuse.
I was going to say, but the chances are, right, there's obviously a lot of growth spurt issues going on there.
Yeah.
Aye. So what happened after that? Was that you, after that, just pied it off?
Well, no, that was about 17, 18. Like say at 17, I was playing like Irish League reserves and around that kind of scene. And then I moved to England to go to uni. So I studied football coaching and performance. And then I was playing a bit there, but I just wasn't taking it serious. Mm-hmm. And then I was coaching at Portsmouth and Bournemouth with the under 9s and under 11s. So then just started getting involved in that more, like with the coaching side of things. And I just enjoyed it, you know what I mean, doing it. And I felt like it felt natural to me to do it. So
yeah,
just kept going.
So how old were you when you started coaching?
Well, I'd done it like as a little part-time job, helping out when I was like 16, but not, you know what I mean, not proper. And then I was at Bournemouth, Portsmouth when I was like 19, 20.
Yep.
So, well, that was with so they have their main academy, and then they have
Community clubs.
Yeah, but it's like what you call basically a level in between.
Yep.
So when you pick all the best, supposedly the best kids from around the area.
Yep.
And they come to that, and then you do what the academy's doing with them to see if any would.
What is that
then
called
come in.
again? Celtic's got that as well.
But the thing is, for Bournemouth,
for
it was
it?
the first year they got and promoted to Premier League.
Yep.
Right, and you're only allowed to sign players from a certain radius around your club.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously Bournemouth is like it's just water all around there. Apart from if you go north, which is Southampton, which is obviously more established than them already. So they were trying to branch out into different areas and trying to, you know, up themselves that way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good project. It was interesting you learn a lot there, do you know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
Especially when you bring it here and you're coaching kids and you know, their parents that play rugby or something here trying to tell you what you did wrong, and you're thinking, come on, man.
But did you find it in the UK? Because in the UK, I found the opposite. I was the same. I coached with Celtic at that age, sort of similar to you. One of those in between.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the fucking name for it was. But a lot of parents.
Talent ID centre.
Aye. So the parents brought in the UK were all clued up on football. Oh, I say clued up. All football daft.
Yeah.
Clued up, but they all had an opinion on it. Like you said here, some parents maybe into rugby or cricket or something, and you know, like, no worries, mate. But they are like your conversations you have sometimes. It's mental because you just want to be like, mate. Even if it's a good point, you're like, mate, they're here to get coached by me. What do you want me? What do you want me to do? Like, I've got him for 1 hour.
Aye.
You can coach him the other 23 if you want, mate. But he's coming here for this one session. And then games at the weekend used to get. Like, honestly, psychopaths.
They are like, but
Psychopaths.
they just base it on what they grew up on instead of, you know what I mean, what looking into it and actually doing. And then just when the kids are like 9,
That's what I mean. Like,
and like, mate, he might not even like football next year. You know what I mean? You're worried about.
He's not left back. He's 7, man. Doesn't really know where he is.
That's true. So then that was you. How long were you coaching at Portsmouth, Bournemouth?
I only done Portsmouth for a short amount of time, it was a few months, and then Bournemouth, I moved there for like that was a season. Then I went done a year in women's football after that. So we were 4th division, got promoted to the 3rd.
Yeah.
What team, sorry?
Chichester women's.
Chichester,
So,
okay.
but we had a good.
That first team?
Yeah. So it was just good to mix it up with
Oh,
different.
brilliant,
How did you find working in the women's environment?
It's different. It's easier to get respect, if you know what I mean.
I find female footballers more coachable.
Yeah, so basically, like with men, you have to prove to them that you know what you're doing, whereas women are more likely just to go in and trust you.
Yeah.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
That's what I mean, but aye, straight away, if you tell women today X, Y, Z, this is best for you, they'll just go, aye. The guy, like, no ball, mate. I'll decide.
That's true.
And eventually they'll make an arse and go, like, okay, right, I'll trust what you're saying. You have to basically prove it to, like you said. 100%, I agree with that, aye. Good
That's
point.
just how men and women are different as well, do you know what I mean? Like, as humans, they're different that way, aren't they? So.
Guys are assholes.
You say Gary is?
That's exactly what I said.
It's not the only one, mate. It's not the only one. There's a list of people.
Yeah, well, after that, I done a bit. Went over to America for a few months and did like people are wanting to come to colleges.
Yeah.
So you coach them, and then you kind of
You like that in-between guy?
Huh?
You like that in-between? Of
Yeah.
like them going to the college?
Well, you kind of coach them and show like maybe a higher standard of what they're used to as such, and then coaches from all around America come and they just watch. Yeah, like a showcase kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay.
And then came to Australia after that. So
when did you come to Australia?
I was 22, so 7 years ago.
Oh. And then just straight into the coaching setup when you got here?
No, I took the first year off just to do a bit and travel around and all that.
Yeah.
Then second year started with Mossman Community Club, just get your foot in the door in Australia. Then after that, done Eastern Suburbs Football Association and your club's first year of MPL Youth, NSW. So I've done the first 2 years there. Then Hakoa for 2 years after that.
Oh, was that youth still, Hakoa?
Yeah. 14s, 15s, 16s. Well, 16s were UNSW, 14s, 15s Hakoa. And then obviously Bulls the last 2 seasons. So 20s assistant last year, and then this year 20s head coach and first grade assistant. And then obviously got a private academy as well.
So then looking at obviously a decent kind of period of time coaching in the UK, coming across here, like what, looking at it, like differences in terms of players, setups, etc. What would you say are the biggest?
The private academy industry is definitely different here.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes it gets a bad rap when it's not necessarily bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think because you pay more for it, people automatically want to say that you're just out to make money and you're not there to help them at all, which isn't the case, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think because money's available, it means you're able to put more time into it. and give better coaching. I think with the NPL and that kind of side of stuff, it's just some of the organisation of it is strange. You know what I mean? Like you've got 14s playing for promotion, like a new setup where they just need to be helped with development. Obviously, still trying to win every week, but like the pressure that's put on some 14-year-olds to try and win and get promoted is crazy to me.
Yeah.
And then the men's side of stuff, the senior side of stuff, anyway. The NPL is good because there's promotion and relegation, right? But even then, at the bottom of NPL, there's like Sydney Uni can't get relegated, right?
Yeah, there's no consequences.
Huh?
There's no
I know,
consequences.
but it has to stop somewhere.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, saying like you've got MPL 1, there's relegation, MPL 2, there's relegation, MPL 3, there's no other league to go to. So same as Scotland. Like eventually, if you're in the lowland league, you can't go anywhere. Eventually, there's just nowhere to go. There's just not enough teams or setups to go anywhere else. It's like MPL 3 is the bottom tier. So where else can you go?
Yeah, fair.
You just go in the local league then?
I know, but it's completely different because the infrastructure's different, the setup's different, the commitment's different, the standards different. So you only take there's licensing, you get an MPL license. There's like red tape around it.
That's what I mean in terms of Australia. All this red tape kind of stuff for me is like I find it a bit strange at times. Like, or like why is 20s playing for no points? Well, they're playing for a table, but you know what I mean.
Well, I think the issue is I don't know if it's an issue, but the conversation always comes back to there's been a lot of changes every 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
When we first got here, it was the championship, same as the youth championship, club championship. I don't know if you were here when it was this. No, you wouldn't have been if it was 7 years ago. It was a club championship that you have in youth, but it was first team had a club championship as well with 20s. So
and 18s.
And 18s. So 18s, if your 18s won,
you get 3 points. 3, 6, 12.
3, 6, 12, aye. So if the 18s team won, so say let's just say Spirit, their 18s won, we get 3 points for the club championship. If our 20s won, we get 6 points for the club championship. And if the first team won, you get 12 points.
Right.
And there's an overall club championship. And then it was whoever was top of the club championship, their whole club got promoted.
Right.
So the 18s, 20s and first team all come up together, as opposed to like just the first team and 18s and 20s not being good enough. You're trying to say like, he's all come together. That's the way it was at that point. So you had some first team players dropping down to the 20s because that's obviously the way it works. But it was like, you know what, you can still win as points for the club championship. But then they eliminated that and got rid of it altogether. And then 20s sort of 18 get put with the youth now. First team is almost a separate thing, and then 20s just get left in sort of limbo land of not really knowing. It almost became like a reserves. That's what it was like literally a reserves league. But people talk about it all the time. It is a funny age group of 20s. It's a weird one. I don't know a fucking clue what the solution would be, but it's been changed a good few times.
There is that problem. You keep changing stuff, and then nothing can work. You keep changing it, but
and everyone's always got it's football, so everyone's got an opinion.
Yeah.
So and like I said, there is red tape, there is conversations, there is clubs have got their own. Like what might work for one club might not work for somebody else, and I don't know what the
there's a lot of the logistical stuff like it's so you can go to the same pitch.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like the whole youth goes to the same pitch or whatever. So like, and that's like pitches are tough to get sometimes. So I can understand that part. Like, but I don't know.
No, I don't know either, man. It is completely different, but the setup here is completely different for Europe.
And I think as well, but like you said, everyone's got a different opinion, right? And then everyone's doing a bit of research here and there, and every few years that research changes. What's the best method and all this, and what they do in South America is different to Europe.
I'll look at it in Holland. I'll look at it in Spain.
Like
I'll look at it apparently in Argentina they do this, and it's like before you know it, like.
Then the problem with that then also becomes that you're doing something that Argentina was doing 10 years ago.
Yeah. Well, that was the conversation with the England national squad, wasn't it? It was always England were always playing catch up with other nations and were never doing what was best for England. It was always, we'll try to copy the Dutch system, or we're going to try and copy the Spanish system, or we're going to copy this system, and before you know it, it's like, well, they've moved on for the thing that you're now trying to do.
But then even that, so when they started that, all you're talking about then, so the one that started the English DNA, the one to call it.
Yeah.
So that was, like you said, their own way of doing things, their own way of thinking. So they came into our uni because the head lecturer there was involved in the FA setup, so he got them in and telling us about it. But again, I think like Roy Hodgson was in charge of most of that, or was leading it. Sorry, and even still, is Roy Hodgson the best person? I'm not saying he is or isn't, but again, it's one opinion that's kind of leading that. You know what I mean? Or maybe have Sam Allardyce, if he had been there when it was happening, he'd lead it in a completely different way. So.
It's like who's right.
There's no right or wrong, really, is there?
Nah, and that's the thing with football, innit? Everyone's got an opinion and how you do things, but Australia is still much, the way I see it is, football seems like still a young sport. It's still growing. There's still a lot of growth to happen in it, which is a good thing. Like women's football's growing, kids, like youth participation's so high.
Yep.
So it's positive for the future that a lot of that youth's going to come through into senior space. But right now there's still so much AFL, NRL, cricket. Obviously, you're talking about grounds as well. That competes for the grounds. Yeah. You're always going to be restricted by how much you can play if there's nowhere to play.
Aye.
So I don't know. It
is the most participated sport, though, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. So it's like positive for the future. And now this, ideally, the B League takes off, and the A League's obviously still a big scratching head thing with finances and all the rest of it. But I think if the top of the pyramid isn't ideal, it never is a great look for the whole.
Makes it very hard for the levels below it if the top isn't great and bringing in X amount of money, and then the money kind of filters down. It does make everything else a lot more difficult.
I think the big thing would, for me as a outsider of the A League just watching it, would be if it was as simple as stadiums were full. See if you could turn on the TV on a Saturday night and the stadium was full. Every like league games, the stadiums are too big.
Yeah,
they're playing games in 60, 70, 80,000 seater stadiums. Very few teams around the world are filling that stadium.
I don't know the ins and outs of all that stuff, but like in the regulations, I don't know what you have to have available in your facilities. You know what I mean?
It doesn't have to be 80,000, surely.
You think?
How many are going to get? What, 10 to 20,000?
Yeah, tops. Aye.
The thing is, in those other sports, right, like NRL, AFL, the pinnacle of those sports is in Australia.
Of course,
so it's easier to look at
getting to the top.
Getting to the top and to see that money trickle back down, all that kind of stuff. But with football, like, and that's the other thing, like everyone always wants to compare everything to the Premier League. Right?
It's just like a joke.
But that's globally the best league in the world.
Financially,
do you know
globally.
I mean? Whereas you still have a good professional league that's competitive or exciting, but it isn't the Premier League.
Well, we talk about this all the time, like Australian boys who leave Australia and go, or even young boys who go to want to be professionals, but in their head a professional is you're playing at Chelsea, you're playing at Man City, and like living this 300 grand a week lifestyle at the top. I'm like, for like 20 clubs, a squad of 20, 24 people. It's 400, 500 players in the world who are in that setup.
Yeah.
Like, whereas you get some wee lad in Poland playing Legia Warsaw, but he's training full time, he's got a full time salary, he might be playing Europa League. Like, if you play 20 years at that level, bounce around Europe, like, phenomenal career, proper football playing career. I mean, that is the reality. Most, like, the high percentage of professional footballers are not playing at La Liga, Premier League, Champions League level. They're playing all around these other countries that you mentioned, which are still good standards, like brilliant standards. They don't have. There's no reason why Australia can't try and compare more to a more realistic. Like, how do we make it more attractive for a young player to say, I want to stay in Australia?
Yeah.
I want to stay in Australia. Money's a big thing in it.
Yeah.
You see the conversation already in the MPL. Some lads have been offered A-League opportunities, and it's like, well, I make more money working in my job and playing MPL football. Because the MPL money is mad.
It's crazy.
At some clubs, and the A-League money is not mad.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's like, well,
some of the money at MPL clubs is mad. Look.
You're telling me your contract or something, isn't it? No, it is, mate. It is bonkers. But look, it's not the player's fault.
Of
if
course.
someone's going to pay you stupid money to play football, like, no worries, mate. 100%. He's a pen, I'll sign that contract.
A mate of mine's like, he's played America, Dubai, Singapore, we call it Vietnam and Cambodia, right? Like you said, not maybe glamorous that he's in the like Champions League in Europe or something, but he's made a career for 15 years playing football, like traveling, seeing the world, like his missus got a free ride round with all of it as well, like, you know what I mean? So it's not bad life.
Of course it is, mate. And then you finish your career at 33, 34, 35, still get your whole life ahead of you to pivot, and you've probably got opportunities for networks you've made and people you've met. Like, that's a prop. To be a professional football player, regardless where you play for that length of time, fair play to anybody who can stay in that at that level.
That's it. You can get in through a good game here, a good game there, a wee bit of luck gets you in, but it doesn't keep you in.
Of course, and then you have to be, obviously, gaffers are changing, clubs are changing, dynamics change, and you have to try and evolve with it, reinvent yourself or stay consistent. Fair play, but I don't know, mate. Like, I don't know how we ended up on this topic, but fucking. So it's a waste of time, really, effectively.
We'll go back to you, obviously, at Bulls. What does the kind of normal week look like at an academy club in terms of your training sessions and how you organise your weeks?
Obviously, we'll assume you play Saturday. Monday's like more just coming in and get back in the swing of things. Like you do like a longer warm up, then passing possession, that kind of stuff. Just getting yourself going. It's not big K's in the legs. Then Tuesday for us is like our hardest day physically. You know what I mean? You want to push the players and get like at least an 8-9 over an 8 RPE. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Wednesday we have off. Tuesday might be half tactical stuff in there like built into it as well. Then Thursday we do more tactical and usually 11v11 of some sort. And then Friday maybe go over set pieces, but just make sure everyone's feeling good and it's a bit of a lighter session and feeling confident getting the match there. Because I think when you get this towards senior football, like a lot of it's about how you feel mentally, right? So you want to just go into the game feeling good.
Yeah, fair. And then I have another question here for you. And it was actually
On your piece of paper.
on my bit of paper, see, just as well I've got it. My other question was asking actually what we spoke about earlier was about the holidays. Will you have many boys that need to have scholars that will need to have time away?
I think just 4 or 5 players.
Right, okay.
But they weren't playing every game for us anyway.
Right,
do you know
okay.
what I mean?
So it will impact just massively.
They're eligible to play for us, but like they've played the last couple of games, but they haven't been there every game this season. Do you know what I mean?
So you'll be fine without them.
Yeah, we've a good squad. Even like the 20s are like they're flying obviously as well. But we train together most of the week, so they're getting exposed to the same level. If you want to say that some players are doing better and playing first grade, but
yeah,
we're all training together and we're all doing the same thing and working on the similar things. So like the players, anytime someone comes from 20s to step into the first grade squad, like they always do very well.
So looking at obviously your time at Hakoah was like 15, 16s kind of bracket. Now you're in at Bulls. Is there a huge difference in terms of levels of the? Obviously, you have a better squad, I'd say, at the Bulls than you did at Hakoah. But is it a massive difference between the kind of the MPL 1 youth or MPL 2, etc.?
Overall, yes, but there is players that
could step up. Yeah.
But overall, and I think as well, but even when we're talking about the commitment of players where we're at now is like they're 100% in.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the players that Hakoah youth are, some might be and some it's hard for them, right? Because they got to balance school and all these things. But yeah, the levels quicker, stronger, and more committed, I'd say, at MPL 1.
Yeah, but you're still some technical players that could probably come in. And
some players that if they're in the environment would then rise, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can say, like, there's loads of kids you can say that for as well, do you know what I mean?
The environment's massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is, to me, that environment in any walk of life is everything, man.
Yeah,
You rise to what everyone else is doing. As soon as you start hanging about with, reading, and I always see people with their phones as well, like not being on your phone, but it used to be your environment was only where you were, but now because of how much time you spend on a phone, it's pretty much who you follow online, what you read online, what podcasts you listen to. So obviously, if you listen to this, you're probably going to be thick as shit. But usually, that now becomes your environment. I mean, because you're pretty much 24/7 or 24/7. Say 7 hours a day. Some kids have got 9-10 hours screen time. I mean, and if you're just bombarding yourself with things that are negative or unrelated to becoming a better player or whatever their goal is, it's take away from that. If you're in a full-time environment, you're almost forced to be around the coaches. Obviously, they're creating an environment to make sure that you are getting better. But you need the hard thing for the coaches when they're not with you.
Yeah.
What is their environment? And you try to educate them of like, this is an environment you should create for yourself. Your bedroom environment, how you get to sleep at night. Your kitchen environment, how you create your meals and blah blah blah. But it's who your mates are as well, which sometimes you.
I think the mates thing is massive.
I'm saying like it depends on your mates, because you have mates who don't.
I'm not blaming my mates or anything.
You don't know who, like you can. There's some lads who are great footballers and none of their mates might not even play football.
Yeah.
I mean, and then they're like, "Oh, what are you doing, mate? Come on. I've got a game tomorrow. It doesn't matter." Don't be like that. You're like, right, okay.
It's the social side, you don't want to miss out, especially when you're in those teenage years. Like,
100%, mate. Like, status is massive.
FOMO's real.
Status is huge, so it's a factor. So, Aye, tough one, but that's where you would say A-League academy sides should be developing the best players because they have got that opportunity to create the environment and say that you're now in here, we've got more time with you with us. And any MPL coach who would love to make it a full-time job would say that. I just love more time with the players.
Yeah.
Because that's what you miss.
I think, like, obviously, like, I don't always speak for Bulls in the last 2 years, but they've got good people leading it, you know what I mean? Like, you had Craig Noon, who was on last year, like, played Premier League and all that. Now you've got Nikolai Müller this year, who's played under Tuchel and played Bundesliga, and, you know, there's good people and they've got real evidence to lean on when they're telling players, like, they should be doing this or that. Like, you can't be arguing with them too much.
Of course, man.
So it is a great opportunity for the kids. Like,
is there anyone in the Bulls? You don't have to single anyone out, but I wouldn't mind the name. Who you think yourself by he's got a right bright future? You know who really stands out?
Like, yeah, well, look, there's loads of them, right?
Of
but
course,
just
anyone who comes off who's like stand out.
Maybe just one who's like very informed at the minute. Zane Helway scored 13 goals, I think, in 16 games, and obviously insists on top of that. So
he's a goalkeeper as well, isn't he?
So like, things are looking good for him, but obviously a long way to go as well after that. So
that's the tricky thing. At that age, you're like, you can be flying, but until you play first team football for a professional team consistently, no one
cares.
It's like you said before, but he'll reach professional football, I'm sure. But then, he might have one manager, then another manager plays different way. You got to adapt to this and that. So it's never ending. You always have to keep delivering, right? So
it's incredible people who become professionals. Like you just take your hat to them and think, so fair play, man. How hard it is to be
100%.
Fuck, man, like so many variables.
I think there's
so many
variables.
And
there's
timing.
So many people trying to do the same thing.
Aye,
it's probably like there's such a competitive
it's harder now
space.
more than ever, probably because now you've got people getting themselves out. It used to be like if you're in the right place and there's a scout watching the game, but now there's video footage getting files from all over the place, and like, you know what I mean,
the video footage.
Do you get sent to any belters?
No, just like I don't know. I don't deal with
football videos.
No WhatsApp chat videos.
No, like, I don't do any of that. Like, I don't really sign players, nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's someone for that, and obviously Nikolai does a lot of that as well. But like, I'm just more focused on the coaching with the group I've got. But I know, like, the parents I see even at under nines video and everything, and I don't know.
I get a lot of people following me on Instagram, and it's like, no, Johnny Smith, and you click on it, and it's like ran by parents, and it's just hundreds of videos. This wee guy doing like tricks and all in his back garden, whatever. Whatever, I mean, and I'm like, does this wee guy even know this is happening? I mean, no idea, man.
My favourite one's people doing keepy ups. Like, I just think, well, what's going on here?
Sign him. 87, 88. It is a completely bonkers thing now with the videos, because I mean it's a necessity. Obviously, why not say yourself?
Look, the parents are just trying to do the best thing for their kids as well. Do you know what I mean? So you can't knock them up.
No. I'm just thinking, when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about the psychopath spectrum. There's a spectrum. There's people like, the wee man's a good player, give him the best opportunity, get some footage, you never know what can happen. You get the ones who are, we all know the psychopaths. We've all been in our football long enough. There's psychopaths everywhere, and they push, like, you get mad comments, mad people at the game. But I think from a senior standpoint, I don't know if you've seen it you may have seen it from a coaching standpoint, when you get footage of a player who looks different gear, but then they turn up and you're like, what?
This is not the same person.
What has happened here?
Well, sure, they said that about we call him Giroud, didn't they? You saw just his highlights and like the trophies he's won, and if you look at like his best goals he scored, you think this guy's like the best footballer to ever live. But obviously he was good, like, you know what I mean?
But he was no bad, let's be honest, Giroud.
But he wasn't the best striker ever, like, was he?
I mean, not ever, but I mean, I wouldn't mind. Van Dijk said he was the hardest striker he's ever played against.
That's true.
That's in that game, wasn't it?
No, he said every time he plays against him, he always scores against him. And
always scores,
he always scores. He's like, I don't know what it is. He just, I always think, like you're saying, he's not worried.
He's not that fast. He's not this. He's not that. But he always scores.
I don't know. It's a bit of a shout. I think Giroud's. I think me one of those guys.
I was just saying a tango when you were talking about that.
I was a guy in America. His nickname was Tango, right? We nicknamed him Tango because he's from Birmingham. African lad comes over, She's Nigerian.
Nigerian, aye.
She comes over to America, a suitcase, as obviously as you would have, and then has another bag. And in this bag, he's brought 2 bottles of Tango. Do you get Tango in Australia?
Is that the fizzy drink?
It's like
Right,
a fizzy
fizzy
drink, like
It's
Fanta.
like Fanta.
It's like
Yeah,
Fanta.
yeah, yeah, I know
It's
it,
like a shitty Fanta. And 2 bottles of Tango and 2 bottles of Pepsi. And then he bought his mum's chicken.
Mum's chicken
His mum bought his mum's chicken cooked.
in a suitcase.
So he has this chicken, he puts it in his fridge.
Yeah,
and
but mind it's been out the fridge for
he's flew it.
40 years. It's come from
Checked
Birmingham.
checked it in the customs. He comes through with the chicken. I don't know how the fuck he get it through customs. Sticks it in the fridge. He had it in his fridge freezer thing in his room,
Aye,
his dorm room for
weeks
like
and weeks,
weeks
man.
and weeks. And still everything in his room was just eating this chicken.
How much did he bring? Like?
A fair amount, mate.
A lot, right? But we're like, mate, you've brought 2, like Tango is obviously wild, like you've brought 2 bottles of Tango, mate, it's just America. But Pepsi, you're in fucking America? Mate. They have Pepsi in abundance. I mean, at least Tango's like a British drink, you can go on here. So his nickname was Tango, but he was...
At least he came prepared.
Aye, mate, but not for football, wasn't he? he wasn't the best footballer, right? But his highlights footage was
Unreal.
unbelievable. It was rapid. It was very fast running, but his highlights footage was incredible. Mate. Left foot, right foot, header, running past people, Megan people. Like, this guy is phenomenal. And then he was apps. And I mean,
But he got a big move, didn't he? Like remember, he left after first year, I'm sure, and got a move somewhere else.
So he did in Tennessee or something.
You get a big move off the back of this.
But off his highlight footage.
Of his
But
highlights.
American colleges, like obviously I've seen a bit of what they do day to day, like is like they're basically just watching videos from around the world, right? So that side of things, if you're looking to go to a scholarship in America, like the videos is very important.
Oh, you need
It's
the
the only
video.
thing that's going to get you signed.
You need video, 100%. You need video for that. If you're in America, that's already Ryan.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Showcase games,
So-
you need that. Unless you want to go there like a showcase thing and see you, but you need the footage. Aye, mental.
Right, new sponsor. Quick shout out to Premiership Experience, the go-to for elite football tours. If you're coaching the MPL grassroots and want to take your players to train at the likes of Real Madrid or Barcelona, play top opposition and catch the Liga fixtures, this is how you do it. They've been running these top quality tours for over 15 years.
And for any private schools and teachers out there, they also run top class sports, ski, cultural, performing arts and education experiences. Hit a link in your description box below. You can check them out at Premiership Experience. They are actually, to be fair, I do want to make a note on Premiership Experience because there's a lot of talk about academies sometimes get a bad rap. Tours gets a bit of a bad rap as well, but this is a company that's been about for like 15 years maybe plus, and they've got offices in
Dubai, India, China,
and now
the
in UK, Sydney. So they do have a fairly good reputation, and it's not one of those jump on a tour and we'll give you a contract for football. It's a tour of, do you want to go and play against academies, or do you want to go sightsee? Do you want to just experience what Premier League is like, or do you want to experience what Spain's like or Germany's like? And you'll go to there and you'll get whatever you bespoke to what you want to do. And all the flights are taken care of if you want to by Flight Centre. So like I said, if you're interested at all, you can check out Premiership Experience in the link below in the description box. Okay.
Just quickly, I didn't ask you, the MPL 2 winners and relegated, who do you think?
I don't know the league table, mate.
See you, mate. Many bits of paper, see? Lucky I'm prepared. So many I can't find it.
Fucking, it's in black as well.
It's on black.
Fucking hell, man. It's costing me 50
I knew you were
quid,
gonna
50
say
quid an ink. Right, who do you think's going to win? Oh, fuck, that's pretty tight. Look, I'm going to say Northern Tigers win the league. Basing off of every single person I've spoke to who reckons they look the part. Promotion place, fuck, that's tough. Promotion place. Fucking Blacktown Spartans have got themselves in there, big time. I think Academy side will be in there, but it's hard to see us. That's fucking big. I'm gonna go Bulls.
I'm
And
away. You're an arsehole.
Honestly, this is a much harder league to predict than
This is
MPL
tight,
one.
man.
It could be any, cause if Jets didn't have that 3 point deduction, I'd probably say Jets. But and then bottom one, I'm going to go Rams
Rams.
relegated, and Hills. Rams and Hills. I think Burnley will get out.
Hills going down to
No, I don't know. No, Rams will go down. Hills
playoff. Aye.
That, I mean, who knows? I'm just going off. I'm literally just looking at the bottom league because Dulwich Hill are fucking in the mix as well.
Aye, it's close.
Okay.
There you go. Predictions.
How did we go last week? I don't think I done well.
Nah, I get 6. You get 4. Griff get 5 and Harrison get 2.
Oh, Harrison get 2.
Aye. So it's 4 games from each league. Obviously, win, lose, draw. Pick who you think will win. We keep score. So at the end of the season, if you are the person with the most wins, you get a prize. Not telling you what the prize
That's
is.
about to
Shout it up.
I don't want to play.
So first game we've got this week, Western Sydney Wanderers at home to Olympic.
Olympic.
Olympic, I've gone Olympic as well. Sydney United at home to Sydney FC.
Sydney United.
Sydney United, yeah.
Yep, same. Sutherland Sharks at home to Manly.
Manly.
Draw.
Away, I'm going to go Sharks. And St George FA at home to Wolves. Sparky.
Draw.
I'm going to go Wolves.
Yeah, I'm going to go Wolves. Yeah.
Then NPL 2, Rowdomere at home to Inter Lions.
Inter Lions.
I'm going to go draw.
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Yeah, I'm going to go draw.
Sort of copy me. SD Raiders at home to Hakoah.
SD.
Yeah, I'll go.
I'll go SD as well. Bonnyrigg at home to Hills.
Oh, there you go. I'll go Bonnyrigg.
I'm going Bonnyrigg as well.
I'll go Hills.
And MacArthur Rams at home to Bankstown City.
Bankstown City.
Yeah, Bankstown City.
Not backing your mate. I'm going to go draw. And then NPL 3, Bankstown United at home to South Coast Flames.
South Coast.
I'm going South Coast.
South Coast. Second top.
Camden at home to Nepean.
Camden.
Yeah, I got Camden.
Central Coast United at home to Gladesville Riding Magic.
Draw.
I'm going Gladesville.
Yeah, Gladesville.
And lastly, Hawkesbury at home to Prospect.
Oh, it's tight that.
Hawkesbury.
So, Prospect, are they not either third, aren't they? Hawkesbury at home?
Prospect are second. No, Hawkesbury are fifth.
Prospect are third in this table I'm looking at right now.
South Coast are joint on points.
Number 3 next to it. So,
Sorry, mate.
so Prospect and
Hawkesbury at home.
Hawkesbury at home. I'll go Hawkesbury.
I've gone Hawkesbury as well. Sound?
Done.
Done.
Lewis, thanks for helping out today, mate. Appreciate it.
No problem. Enjoyed
I
it.
know.
Class, cheers.
Thanks for your time, mate. Cheers.
Yeah, good actually, man. Yeah. Thanks for having me. What was that guy's name you said? The gaffer was the one.